Welcome back to Nikki's Scrapbooking Adventures. Today is day 14 on Best of 30 Days of Sketches with Christy's Beautiful Life. Today we're going to do something just a smidge different. We're going to be playing with the Simple Stories Howdy collection. Now, I ended up accumulating this collection by a cherry on top sales last year during Mother's Day, or no, Black Friday, I think, is when this came out. And I mean, I got a lot of it, and I didn't expect to, didn't intend to, but ended up landing with too good of a deal to pass up. So I'm going to quickly flip through my collection here. A lot of you have probably already seen a lot of this stuff, but just in case you want a reminder of what this looks like. I think it's a cute collection. It is heavily themed. But there are pages that aren't as heavily themed that you can definitely use. Now, I am going to be using this for the theme. Like, that's why I pulled it. I've got a super cute photo of my son that I'll show you later that we're going to use using this. Like, this could be for travel instead of what a Southwest, right? Okay. So I just wanted to show you some of the B-sides that aren't as themed, so you can get an idea of what the color scheme is. And just in case you might be interested in picking up this collection. I mean, even these aren't as themed, right? So that's pretty much the B-sides. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay, I think I'm missing one paper out of the collection, but that's okay. Not a big deal. Today is day 14 sketch. And it is a 4x4 grid with, it looks like, probably 2-inch squares. Let's see. Yeah, it's probably 2-inch squares because you got about 2 inches on either side of that grid. And we're going to be using the tags. So, I'll be right back and we will talk about how we're going to do that. It turns out that the tags are not quite 3x4, which I thought they were. It's kind of weird. That's alright. It's alright. Okay, so what I ended up doing is I measured the width by just placing a tag down, and then I stuck a piece of scratch paper here and washi taped it down. So there's a ledge now for my paper to be caught on. So I made sure each block was, I don't know, 2 3/8. Yeah, 2 3/8 essentially wide, and I cut out each of them. So I ended up with, I think, at least 2. So definitely this one, he's not a cowgirl, and this one wouldn't fit within that range. See, it would cut off the boot and it would go into the tag spot, and I didn't want that to happen. So I'm gonna lay out the blocks of paper in a grid, just like in my sketch, and it's gonna end up being 4x4. So these are about 2 3/8 by 2 3/8, and they are just gonna land like that. Now this is not a cut apart card. This is actually a piece of patterned paper, but I loved the saloon so much, and I needed 4 pieces, that I ended up just cutting a strip, the 2 3/8 by 2 3/8, and putting them down. Now, when I laid these out, there's a reason this one is upside down, we'll get to that. I tried my hardest not to put light blue next to light blue and teal next to teal. However, this spot is kind of heavy in teal because, like, this would look weird. Well, Actually, I might like that better. Just kidding. We're going to put that over there. That changes up a little bit of stuff, and that's fine. So that is my grid pattern. I'm going to go ahead and get this adhered, and then we'll talk about the rest, because I don't like moving parts when we start to embellish. It kind of drives me up the wall. So let's talk about how I adhered these. So I first had to determine how wide this was going to be. I guesstimated that I thought I was going to do 1/4 inch between each square. Well, that turned out to be too big. So then I used my We Are layer guides to determine that it was going to be 1/8 inch wide. So I set up my first row, lining it up against my Ranger centering measure tape thing, ruler. Essentially, 0 is here and then working your way out. So then I looked at it and I was like, okay, that's actually about 10 wide when I use an 1/8 of an inch distance, or about 1 inch away from the edge, okay? So then I used my T-square ruler to determine where 1 inch was here and 1 inch where is there. I laid it down, and then I tacked it square in the middle with just some advanced tape glider, okay? I did not adhere all of the corners. I only did the little itty bitty center, because if I knew that I could move it and only leave a little bit of a tear behind the square, and it wasn't that big of a deal. So I really did not use that much ATG behind these. Okay, and then I got this one all nice and square. I used my layer guide to push up against my one block, and then I put my other block right up against it, just eyeballing if it was straight or not. And I'm pretty good at that, so it's fine. It's such a short distance, and it's 1/8 of an inch. You can pretty much get it right on. So I did the same thing here, same thing here, same thing here. Okay, so then I checked that my row was square, moved anything if I needed to, and I didn't really. It was fine. Okay, so now I know this is perfectly spaced and perfectly square. So from then on, I was able to just place my 1/8 inch against my top row and place these eyeballing it. Because remember, I cut these square. I know I did. Right? And so I did the same thing here. And then here. And that was it. Again, I made sure that I only put ATG in the middle of my squares. And then I took my permanent tacky glue from Scotch, and I just did the corners. So you can actually see that I could pull up here. But when it's going in a page, the most likely spot to clip is the bottom. So as long as I make sure that my bottom edges are adhered, I can just do the bend test. Nothing's coming up. I'm not going to have an issue coming in and out of my page protector. Okay? So let's get to the pictures, embellishing. I don't even know that you've seen the pictures yet. So, today was a beautiful day. It was in the 90s, and we're trying to teach my son how to walk. So I've got these cute little photos where I was working working smarter, not harder, excuse me, by tying the dog leash around his walker so that I could pull instead of lean over. Because, man, that makes your back hurt. Because he's little and I'm big. And leaning over for an extended period of time is ridiculous and really hard on your back. So I posted this on Facebook saying that I was working smarter, not harder. And then my husband shoots back, "Sun's out, guns out." And I was like, oh my gosh, I have to get this in his scrapbook. So that is going to be my title. Not going to repeat it, but you know, these kind, the ones on your arm. But look at how funny that this character is in this collection, and that's what reminded me of this collection. It's the Wild Wild West. They can hold those if they want, right? I don't want to get banned from YouTube, so I'm not going to say it again. You can read it yourself. So I'm going to use 2 different fonts for my title. Now, I was going to do a single font. However, I ran out of T's or S's in both of the fonts that I wanted to do. So, we're going to use a super old font that's actually kind of got a leather texture to it. I have no idea what it is. It's really pretty. I love it. I use it all of the time. First, let's get this adhered. And the reason I have this mat is because there's a mat in my inspiration piece. So this is just one of those 4x6 cut apart card. And I just really like the blue denim with the stitching. I think it's really pretty. And that's why I picked it. Because I think it's pretty. For a boy page. This is also like my favorite color blue. So we're just gonna go like that. There you go. Making sure that you can see my saloon and my words. That was my big key there. Okay, so let's get my photos down. Now I am purposely putting them so that my son is facing inwards instead of outwards, because you don't really know what he's looking at now. So if I make him focus on one spot, there you go. It'll look just a little bit more balanced. So get some ATG. Now I'm being sparing with my ATG. Normally I go all 4 sides. However, I'm running low. And I'll get some next week at crop. So I already got that set up. I just don't want to run out by the time I get there, because I do scrapbook every single day. Pretty much. Okay, so there's that. And I still make time for this. Whew. Now, these letters are old. I'm going to have to add adhesive. So, I'm going to use 3-in-1 Advanced Craft glue. This has been described as hot glue that's cold. So it does kind of have a stink to it, so watch out for that. And it's kind of stringy. So that's another thing you have to be careful of. Use my T-square to kind of get that lined up. I would describe this as the glue that you use for things that are not paper. So if you want to add charms, it's acid-free and waterproof. Instant grab. I'm trying to find like a list of what it used, but I mean, I've used it on beads, I've used it on all sorts of stuff. This is actually adhesive acrylic. Again, kind of old. But I flipping love this font. It is one of my absolute favorites. And I wish I had more of it. But it's such an old idea that I don't think anybody's going to do it. And I feel like people are charging a ridiculous amount for acrylic pieces right now. One acrylic set, so you get a couple of different items within the set, is like $5. And I mean, when I say a couple, I mean like 3 or 4 pieces. And so I can't imagine what a whole alphabet set would have cost. I mean, this is what it looks like. It's my absolute favorite. As you can see, I've used it a lot, but you get a lot of letters too. Like this here, I think 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 A's and 3 B's or something like that. Like, that's a lot. Look at how many numbers you get. I mean, you get a lot. See, I think this is in the 1990s because you got a lot of ones. Not sure why you got so many ones, but clearly I'm using this in 2022 because don't have enough 2's in the world. Now I'm using the parenthesis things. Now, I don't know if these are actually called parentheses or not. Somebody in the comments tell me. Are those parentheses? What are those called? The fancy brackets. Maybe that's what they're called. Brackets. They've got to have their own name, right? Because brackets could be square or they could be swirly, like these. I'm using those because I just haven't. I don't tend to use the punctuation in alphabets, so I thought this would be an appropriate situation to do that. Man, it looks good. I like the way that it looks on the end there. So, has anybody heard this saying? What are some dad sayings that you have heard? I'd love to get some ideas for titles, because those are my favorite. When my husband says something funny and it just completely inspires me. That's exactly what happened today. Absolutely inspired. And that's how you can use some of these super heavily themed sections, because my son's not wearing a cowboy hat. I mean, there's nothing to do besides the title with what's going on here. And that's okay. You know, it's documented. Now I can say in the journaling that what was actually happening and how this title came about, right? Now, I did leave a journaling spot on my layout. It's that lower right-hand corner. And it is actually the back side of one of the tags. The tag was heavily red. And it was the only red item that I had, pretty much on the entire thing. So I decided instead to just flip it over, and lo and behold, it was lines, which actually worked out really well. So that is that. Now, embellishing. A lot of the embellishing is already done for me because I've got such heavy imagery on here. So a lot of it, I'm just going to let it speak for itself. Like, I'm not going to cover this guy up because that is why I got the collection. The other reason I picked the collection for this specific one is because the sticker sheet had him. Look at, and he fits right here. This is why I had that card upside down, because otherwise I would see the letters between his legs. And I don't see the letters between his legs, so don't be afraid to rotate stuff. Don't be afraid to cover things up. Just don't do it, right? So I've got a couple other items here that I was just kind of playing around with. Notice that I've got letters here. And look at how perfect that covers it up. And it covers up where the hat covered up too. So I can do wanted right across there. But wait, there's more. Now I feel like this looks kind of funky. So I'm going to add this guy right here, just right on top. Okay. And then I'm going to add my date. Now this is going into a 2022 album, so I don't feel like I need to tell them the date. Actually, this might work. Like, tell them the year, I mean. Oh my gosh. That's funny. Look at that. I could make that little dot in the middle work for me. Look at that, 513. Then I found this little piece that is part of the journaling. It says, "Whoa, Nelly," which I thought would be hilarious. Like right here. Whoa, Nelly. So that's gonna land right there. Add a little quick adhesive to it to get that down. Now, I think this is funny, one, because of the title, two, because we're walking and he could fall over at any time. And then I've got this cute little orange, so I want to bring some of that orange down, and it's going to cover right here, and it's going to say most wanted, and then friend. How cute is that? How cute is that? So there's that. You can't even tell what it says behind it. So that's cute. Now let's do something in the upper left. I've got the chipboard pieces as well that I've been kind of playing with. So let's just open this up. This chipboard is like falling apart, as you can see. I spotted, oh, these are chipboard stickers even. That's kind of cool. I spotted this piece right here, and I thought that would be cute coming somewhere. Let's do it like right there. Nope, dang it. I don't know that it's gonna work, because I was thinking, oh, yes, look at that. Look at that. That's cool. Okay. Yay! I also have a sticker sheet here. I'd love to be able to cover this up right here. I don't really like that. Maybe. Oh my gosh. Okay. No, that's not okay. We'll go like that. Oh, thank you, husband, for the inspiration, because this is like making my day. Okay. I'm kind of liking this right here. Do I want to add anything? Like, do I want to put this big barrel right behind it? Okay, make it look like it's the Wild West. I think this is so fun. Okay, and then what else do we got here? Way out yonder, yeehaw, gee thanks, love, live, love, ride, gallop. Our little outlaws, round up, sweet cowboy, all my rowdy friends. I think this is funny. Whippersnappers. Didn't think that was a South thing, but I guess it is. Rough and tough. Ride 'em, cowboy, my posse, tootin', rootin', tootin'. Chin up, buttercup. Little buckaroo, I could do that. Although I kind of have a cowboy here. Do I want to add anything else? I don't know that I do. Do I have a boot? So I got a boot here. That'd be kind of fun. When else am I going to use this collection? I have no idea. So I feel like I need to get up as much of it used as possible. But at the same time, keep it simple, stupid. That's something I learned in college. That is an old engineering trick. Keep it simple. That's why I like simply embellishing, because sometimes you get too much on your page and it takes away from the funness of it. So I think I am done. I hope you got some inspiration from how to use a very heavily themed collection for a not so themey picture. I would love to hear what other title ideas you have for this collection, because this is so much fun. I really, really adore it. Yeah. And maybe it's just because my husband helped me out with this, with giving me the inspiration of the title. So, Enjoy your summer. Enjoy playing along with this cute sketch by Scrapbooking Lauren Tides Inc. I hope you have a wonderful day. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And I will see you next time.